Is it recording? I should check. Yes, it's recording. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is a little bit of a different scene. It's actually the scene that I used to record in when I was doing the book series, but yeah, we're changing it over to psychology since I have been studying a lot. Also the reason why I took a bit of a break posting and all, but yeah, so I'm studying psychology and neuroscience. So I'm a psychology major and neuroscience minor student, studying my third year as a mature student. A little bit about me. But just one quick shout out to my brother. He's actually lent me his camera, which I think the volume makes it a lot better. Right. But yes, I thought because it is a little bit sunnier today, it's been really cold here in Sydney, Australia. It's been freezing, so I've been recording like later at night with my turtleneck, but since it's nice and warm today, I was like, let's just record during the day. And yeah, let's get started. I usually also have a script, as you probably can tell, but today, since the topic is rather close to my heart, I think I'm just going to talk about it. It's off our developmental psychology series that we've been going off on, and hands down, this is my favorite unit out of all the psychology units I've done because it's just so close to home. It's just so close to home, and it's even before kids. I think developmental psychology is definitely one of my top units, besides from neuroscience and cognition. I think developmental is just so nice to learn about, like the stages of life and what's expected, the genetics factor and heritability factors of child development, and just overall human development. Definitely something I'm interested in. So yeah, so today I think we're just going to talk a little bit about postnatal depression in the developmental psychology realm. Sorry if I do talk a little bit fast. I do tend to talk a bit fast. I'll try to slow it down, and of course, like I said, there's no script today. I'm just going to be talking from my heart, and on a topic that I'm really passionate about. I think this week, to give me some structure, because I can go on a tangent like forever. To give me some structure, I will be discussing this week's topic that I learned at uni. I'm currently a student at the University of Sydney, and this is the first week's readings on developmental psychology on postnatal depression. And yeah, sorry, that's my phone. Let's put it on mute. And so yeah, let's get started. Postnatal depression. There were 3 papers this week that we read. 3 papers highlighting just the significance of postnatal depression. I do have notes. I do have my psychology notes in front of me, but I'm going to try to not go through it too much. And I will link the papers down below if you guys are interested, for who's ever interested. But there were 3 studies, and they were very, very interesting. I think the first study that I read was about the effects of postnatal depression on parenting styles, on parenting methods, such as mums. It's mainly mums, I'd say, because it's so interesting that even in the research they find that even if the family has a mentally stable father figure, it doesn't counter for the fact that there is a postnatally depressed mother, and the effects that actually has long term for the child. This is actually very sad. I find research, because it's so common. It's so common for mothers to have postnatal depression, as a mother myself. I guess before I kind of looked into this research, the research papers, and actually learned about it more properly. I did think that I had postnatal depression, but after learning about it more, I'm like, okay, maybe not so much, because mine definitely wasn't as severe. Because postnatal depression, I'll just probably give you an explanation of what it is before I get started as well. See, this is where scripts are handy, because I can actually but yeah, anyway, so postnatal depression, what is it? Postnatal depression is obviously depression that a mother feels after giving birth to the child, and it's usually between the first year of life, so the first year of the child's life. And it shows in signs of just withdrawal from the child. So the research paper says the mother is either too overly withdrawn, or the interactions aren't appropriate and can be overstimulating. It's like she's just, I guess, a bit too much rough playing, or just too stimulating in a way where it's like it's not appropriate. And I guess I kind of did that a little bit, but not so much. I mean, I was really into the rough playing, because if I wasn't, then I guess I wasn't mentally stimulated enough. But when it comes to like they talk about how the mother would just not have any interaction with the child, like not have eye contact, not interact, not read books, and she's just like completely withdrawn. I'm like, I definitely had moments where I was, but this is also reflective of my journey, so I'm sharing that with you guys as well. It wasn't that severe, I feel, and I feel like it definitely could have been a lot worse. And I definitely feel for the mothers that went through this. I think for me, I'm naturally pretty playful, so I definitely like enjoy playing with babies. But I can see how that's not it for every parent and not it for every mother. And so yeah, the research shows that mothers that are postnatally depressed would be more withdrawn, and in this it actually causes long-term effects for the babies, such as kids that have mothers who are postnatally depressed. They had a second study, so this is going to the second research paper, where they actually had a longitudinal study. By longitudinal I mean it's a very long-term study, so it's over a course of almost a lifespan, right? So like 20 years almost of worth of study, which is insane, which is so incredible. Very expensive, as you can imagine, but it's out there. So they actually took tests from babies at 3 weeks old, and then checked in on them again at 13 years old, and another one at 16 years old, and they just compared their cortisol levels in the morning. And it's crazy that this is like, before learning about it, like who thinks of this stuff? Like who thinks to do research like this? But it's pretty incredible, right? So they actually did find a correlation. Doesn't mean causation. This like thing about research is it can be interpreted, right? So they did find a correlation between mothers who were postnatally depressed and teenagers or preteens, like 13 to 16-year-olds. They had a lot higher cortisol level. So what's cortisol? If for those who don't know, it's a stress hormone. So at 8 a.m. they measured the cortisol levels through a saliva swab. So they just got like a swab in the teenager's mouth, and they measured it, and the cortisol levels were significantly higher in those with mothers that were postnatally depressed. And yeah, like it just goes to show, right, like how important this period really is. You can just hear my kids in the background. I think this microphone is too good. It picks up a lot in the background, I noticed, but thank you to my brother again. And yeah, sorry, back on track. The third paper, I don't know if I want to talk about it too much, because I don't know if it relates to everyone, and especially people that are not into research and not into the scientific field, because the third one is more based upon rats. And you can argue like, how do rats, relate to humans? But there's a lot of things that we can research on rats that kind of like speeds up the process, because we don't have to wait like 20 years for rats to develop. Rats develop at a lot faster rate, and we can see through rats like just learning behaviors and developmental styles and all that. Like we can do a lot more to rats, which is obviously not always ethical, and not everyone agrees with it, but we can do a lot more to rats than we can do to humans. So they serve a place in research, and I'm sorry if you're very against that. So I probably won't talk about the third paper too much, because I think the first and the second one is more than enough to see how important this period of time is for mothers to be supported. So like the two main interventions that you can do, and is highly recommended by research that they've found to be effective, is postnatal intervention. So surprise, surprise, you need like some form of like intervention during this time. Like maybe GPs need to step up their game and really work with the mothers more to identify who is depressed and who isn't. So not all mothers are, don't get me wrong. Postnatal depression is not it's common, but not everybody gets it, like to the extreme especially. I mean, maybe everyone's on a spectrum somewhere because of sleep deprivation as well. I actually had a conversation with a friend recently, and she asked me, is there a connection between depletion and depression? Like, Are they depleted or they're depressed? Which one is it? You know what I mean? And I still gotta look into the research of that. I'm not sure of the answers of that. But there's definitely like, you can get depleted without getting completely depressed where you're completely withdrawn from your baby. And maybe you're not even depressed. Maybe you also don't know how to interact with your baby appropriately, which is also another intervention that's proven to be really effective. Very effective, which is postnatal coaching, baby coaching. I forgot the term they use, but it's basically coaching the mothers to interact with the baby, like coaching them on how to interact with the baby. Because let's face it, this is not second nature for everyone. Like, as much as we like to believe that there is like a mothering gene in our body that kind of just activates and we just go into full parenting mode, that's not the same for everyone, unfortunately, especially, you know, in this day and age where women are not overly focused on being parents anymore. And then you have a baby and you're like, what do I do? You know what I mean? Like, it's no shame. If you need coaching, it's actually so empowering to get help, you know. So yes, definitely get coaching on how to talk to the babies, and also, surprise postnatal support. So I gotta fact check this, but I believe in some Asian countries like Korea, they actually have like a whole month where the mothers are getting like showered with love by like a doula or like a postnatal supporter, where they just come into your house, cook for you, clean for you, hold your baby while you shower, like let you sleep. Like, why is that not already a thing? Like, I don't understand how, like, that's not already a thing. Probably the prices would be a little bit crazy, but I mean, after I gave birth, there was a midwife that came to my house, I remember, to check in on the baby, you know, did some tests, got some blood tests and all that. But other than that, there was like, to have like a midwife even just come out and just help her around the house a bit just for the first month is, I think, that's incredibly impactful and definitely worth it for especially first time mums and young mums, or all mums who just don't have enough support. Not everybody has that village that everyone's talking about anymore. And so, like back in the days, women were raised in huts together, right? We were all raised in community where it's like, hold my baby, it's easy for someone to just pick up your baby while you go do this. It's like, we live in a very surprisingly engaging world where everyone's connected through social media, but like at the same time more distant and more separated than ever. So yeah, I think I will leave that there today. I won't over chat. Which I feel like I already have. Again, this is off script, and yeah, if you guys have any questions and any suggestions on what we could do or what we could talk about, that'd be great. Thanks guys, keep learning, keep growing, and I'll see you next time. Bye.